King Arthur had a major update last night, and I want to go over the notes and what has changed for the game, but I haven't been doing a lot of videos for this game because there just really isn't an audience right now. We don't have global launch. It's supposed to happen per the investors meeting sometime in September, but we just don't have a date for when it's going to come out. Once it does, you'll see lots of videos from me because I have a lot of rare heroes that once you put skill books into them, do some crazy things. And we'll come out with guides. We'll come out with all of that once the game global launches, right? Once people can actually access this game because there's no PC client for everybody to play it and see how great it is right now. So let's get into these patch notes. There's a lot of things that have changed over here. The highlights are gold changes, hero and relic advancement changes. They did some bad stuff to the skills, how we upgrade our hero skills along with their passives. We've got dungeon changes and then story mode difficulty changes. All good stuff. Well, I would say 80% good stuff. And I'm going to tell you why these other things don't seem that bad. There's only one thing in this that I really don't like about it. And then they did change some gear. We can't get 4-star gear anymore on normal story mode. Really, at this point, I'd have to replay the game to get an idea of what it's going to be for the new player experience, and I'm going to do that when the game comes out. I want to know what it feels like to play the game without a powerful anguish, with all these changes they've made to where we can only get 3-star gear on normal story mode now, and then all these other major sweeping changes that they've made to the game. We just got to play it and see what it's going to be like, and I don't want to do that until global launch. So with the gold changes, these are massive. We knew gold was an issue. They knew gold was an issue, and they've dropped the cost of doing everything in regards to gold, except for leveling up your gear, which is what it should be, right? If you want to rank up your gear from 1 to 12, then yeah, it's going to cost you gold to do that. But everything else in the game should be at a reasonable price, and now it is. I mean, they've dropped it by 80%, 90% across the board. All the gold costs and the way that we acquire gold is now better. We get more gold for the things we do in the game. And our gold dungeon where we fight against the boar, instead of doing it 2 times a day, we can do it 3 times a day, which is amazing. Taking gear and salvaging gear in this game. I never did it before. I always took my gear whenever I got close to my max bag space, and I went and sold it for gold. I never crunched it because look at these costs. It just dropped by a dramatic amount. Of course, now I'm going to crunch it. Yeah, of course. Look here, 6-star gear. I told you 6-star gear was coming, and it's not in the game yet. This is another reason why I haven't been doing videos on this game. We are playing half a game. We're not playing a full game. So it gets a little boring playing this half game. We can't go any further in Expedition. We're stopped at Expedition 5. We're just not playing the full game. So there's no reason for me to keep doing videos about all the stuff in the game when there's, again, no audience and we're playing half a game. We will have 6-star gear. We just don't know how it's going to come, where it's going to be in the dungeons, or what's going to happen, like the progression of the game. And I'm all about like how you progress through the game. So we'll worry about that when global launch happens. Hero, relic, and advancement. This is to take your heroes from 1-star to 2-star to 6-star so we can get them to level 60. Same thing with your weapons. Not only taking less gold, it actually takes fewer resources now. Fewer of those orbs, fewer of those acorn stars that we use to level up our relics, our weapons. It takes fewer of those resources. Now, this is a really good thing because the game isn't designed like most games are to go in and fight your hero advancement dungeons. The big monkey Gorgos and the bear, to fight them, you have to have specific heroes, like right when you start playing the game. And if you can't progress past them at a certain point, you won't be able to get stronger. You won't be able to do story mode, which story mode is insanely important to unlock things in your castle, to be able to go into arena, to be able to unlock your trees to get stronger. There's a whole bunch in the game that you have to go through story mode, and you want to go far into story mode so you can get that gear from those story mode stages. And if you can't do really well in those advancement dungeons, well, then you're stuck. You can't level up your hero. You can't take them from level 40 to level 50 because you can't get far enough in Gorgos, the advancement dungeon. Now, though, with these lower costs, you can combine the lower level ones into the higher ones, and it costs virtually nothing to do that. So that's really good. So if you were stuck at, say, farming stage 5, you could farm stage 5 a crazy amount of time, and you could actually take a little bit of gold and all those orbs you got and rank them up, you know, alchemy them. But still, you have to get through story mode to even be higher level alchemy them up, make them the higher material, and then be able to level up your heroes. So that works out well for that one. Hero skill level up. This is the one I have a problem with. This game is unlike any other game when it comes to leveling up your skills and leveling up your passives. It's awesome that we have a dungeon to be able to farm this. We have this in Dragonair as well. They have a dungeon to be able to level up your skill tomes there. A lot of games have this, but I've never seen a game do this in a way to where they have such an increase in the amount of resources you take each time you level it up. Now, this is only for the passives, but consider this, it's the same thing for the passives, but consider this for the skills as well. If I'm playing Isolde and I need to level up her second ability to get the vigor cost down by 1, and I get extremely lucky and just hit it after 2 times of me leveling up. She has a skill 1 and a skill 3 as well, but I get really lucky. I did on my Isolde. I think it only took me like 4 tries to get her second ability down to what I needed to get it to. Other people have taken about 8 tries, all hit into their skill 1 and into their skill 3. And then now they're trying to get enough resources to be able to get into that skill 2 to get to the skill that matters. The one that I had really easy time hitting that cost me hardly any resources. It would have cost me like 10 resources just to get what I needed to get. But now it's costing you 100, like legitimately costing you 100. And now you're waiting to get like 20 of those resources. By you have a limit of how many times you can farm the talisman dungeon, and getting these resources from other things like your guild shop, the arena shop, and then of course we'll have events. We'll have other ways to get these resources in the game once global launch comes out. Of course, I know we will, but I find it really pitiful that I can do it so easily, or somebody else can do it so easily, get lucky with RNG, while another person has to spend just 1,000 times the cost that that person spent. It just really seems completely unfair and unnecessary. Just kind of make it, I don't know, standard across the board. I mean, you could kind of spread this out and be like, there's Stu, it's standard. I counted all this up and then we just divided it by 5 here. Now it's the same cost. I don't know. We'll have to see. Again, we're playing half a game. We don't know what's going to come with global launch. We don't know what other rewards or what other events we're going to get, rolling events in this game. And maybe they'll give us these resources. Maybe we'll be able to get some more guild points easier so that we can get those legendary talismans and books in the guild shop easier. We just don't know yet. That's why it's so hard to say what is good and bad about these changes for the game, because we're playing half a game still. The reward changes a lot of people are up in arms about, but I don't think it's that bad. Only because, again, we don't know the rolling events that are coming out. We don't know what kind of things they're going to give to us in other shops with other content that they bring out at global launch. So this could really not even matter. But I do agree with you on rewards where it's a one-time reward. New players going through a game, why would you nerf one-time rewards? That doesn't make sense to me at all. They can only get it once. It's an incentive for them to play the game, a new player to play the game. Yeah, I'm going for this reward. I'm getting these rewards. I'm having a lot of fun playing the game, and I can see that I'm getting a benefit from playing your game. And I'm happy to play it, which makes people happy to spend in it. And yet you're taking away all these rewards from them, and they only get it one time. I don't get that. But here they've done some changes for weekly rewards, monthly, and then weekly and monthly again. I don't mind this one here. They've taken away one summon ticket for a stat change stone. Stat change stone is very powerful. This is actually a positive, because later on you can take your 4 substats that you have on your artifact and change one of those substats randomly. But it's very, very strong to have. This actually is a high value item, way better than a special summoning ticket for 1. So that's a good change. Over here, we went from 50 gems to gold. That's terrible. It's only a weekly thing to where we're getting 50 gems. The gems in this game are really bad. It's always been bad. We've always done really well with getting summons from this game, but the gems acquisition that we get is terrible. Again, with new content, new shops, new events rolling, this cannot matter at all. But I do think it's kind of weird if this is weekly to take away from the 50, but we could pick it up somewhere else. Here we're taking these honor tokens and we're getting more. This is good because these are the tokens we use in the arena shop to get us weapons like Tristan's fire weapon, which is amazing. We get our wind shield from Hector, and we get our frost weapon for Arthur, and then we can get multiple fragments of these people because Ascension isn't in the game yet, and it will be. You know it's going to come, and Ascension means that we get multiple fragments of our heroes, and then we take their star levels and we rank them up to make them even stronger, and we can get tokens of those heroes in the arena shop, which we're going to want to. We're going to need to, so it's really cool that we get more of that. Here, the special summoning ticket of 5 turning into 2 talisman dungeon tickets monthly was not necessary. I don't know why. Talisman tickets are very high priority. They're actually really good items. but it's monthly. So either one, I don't really care about this. They're both really good. It's monthly, so whatever they want to do, whatever. Here, though, weekly of 3 to 2, okay? Okay, and then monthly we go from 5 to 3. I don't know the reasoning behind this, but whatever. Again, I keep saying this. It's going to happen, guys. It happens in every game I play. We're going to have rolling events. We're going to have other shops put into the game with guild versus guild, with 100 tower that they have in every game that has multiple difficulties, that gives you rewards as you go up there. Every month you repeat it. That's my actual favorite content in any turn-based gacha game. I'm really sad it's not in this game yet, but you know it's going to come. It's a staple of every single one of these games. Now, these are the one-time rewards. Now, look at how hard these one-time rewards were hit. Summoning ticket, 1. Summoning ticket, we don't need that. Stat Change Stone. Again, these are great. Stat Change Stone is amazing, especially for mid-game, in-game players when people really know when to use them and how to use them. Do you need to give a Stat Change Stone to a new player? I don't think so. I don't think that's worth it. I think you should save that for events and give them back their 4 summoning tickets. We also need these summoning tickets so we can get heroes in the game, so we can convert them over and be able to buy other heroes from our summoning shop. Because you're going to need to go get DeJaret. If you don't pull DeJaret, you're going to need to get his Frost weapon. So you actually need summons in this game for free to play. And again, they can pick them up in other areas that we've talked about, but this is a one-time deal. I don't know why you would change this over from summoning tickets to stamina, summoning tickets to enhancement zone. Look at all these summoning tickets that they've taken from 5 to 1, 4 to 1, 3 to 1. I mean, these are large for a new player. And this is for leveling up your castle. This takes forever. I'm leveling up my castle right now from like 14 to 15, and it takes like a full week to do it. It takes an insane amount of resources. So this makes no sense to me because this is actually a long-term goal, a massive long-term goal, and these tickets warrant that. So it's not like a player is going to get this stuff right away. I wouldn't worry about this one. This too, Frost Fragments from special summoning tickets. What? That's crappy. I don't know. All this just isn't great. It's a one-time thing. Again, in the overall of this game, in the amount of things that they give you, even at global launch with all these changes, when we play a new account, we get ways to get free legendary heroes. We get ways to get free rare heroes, which are the epic heroes in all other games, and we get variations of their weapons as well for summoning. So there are a crazy amount of free rewards still in this game. They give you lots of legendaries, they give you lots of rares, and they still give us lots of tickets, but just not as many for the first time experience. So hopefully we'll pick that back up in all the other ways we talked about. Crystals though, I do not agree with cutting the amount of crystals we get. A lot of these are one-time crystal rewards. You're cutting those down. Again, I don't understand why, since we got so few crystals before. And they lowered the amount of daily crystals we get, I think from like 210 to like 170. So they lowered that down a bit, which isn't a lot. I mean, as far as crystals go, to be able to do summons and really to be able to buy what we need from the shop, to be able to do additional talisman runs and to be able to get those 2-for-1 summonings in the shop, you're going to need a little bit of daily gems to do that as free to play. Now, I'm not saying free to play should be able to buy everything in the game. I'm not saying that at all. And free to play should be able to save up some gems to be able to eventually summon on the banners when they come out, because it takes way less gems to summon on those banners to hit 50 to get a guaranteed legendary than to do it on the normal summons banner. But really, that's not 100% true, because if you're buying the 2-for-1 summoning ticket for 140 gems every single day, you're getting 2 summons for the price of 1, and then you go over and then at 80 you get a guaranteed legendary. So it's better to do that as free to play than worry about summoning on the guaranteed banner. We'll have to see how it all plays out at global launch along with everything happening in the game. Dungeon changes. I like this. The dungeon has changed and they've increased the stamina cost to do it here, which is fine because now we don't need as many of those resources to be able to level up our heroes. It's costing us more stamina. I did hear people say that we still have to do the same amount of dungeon runs for our weekly and monthly quests that we have to get rewards, and it's going to cost us more stamina to do that, and they didn't lower the amount that we have to run in those weekly and monthly. I still think it's going to work out. Do we need a lot of stamina to play this game? We do, and I'm sure we'll get it. Okay, just have faith, man. Have faith that at global launch, all this will work out with cool events, a whole bunch of other shops, and a whole bunch of other content in the game. I'll leave a link to this down below if you want to crunch all these numbers. There's experience potions here, along with what you're going to get for your relic breath to level up your relics. You can see all that information here. Equipment dungeons, they did do some nice changes to the equipment dungeon. These are the 3 dragons that you run to get equipment in here. And you can see here at stage 7, 3 to 5 star. Stage 8, 3 to 5 star. Stage 9, 4 to 5 star. I'm going to have to test this out and see how often we get 5-star gear drops, because before it just never really happened. We did not get 5-star gear drop because we're playing half a game. And where's the 6-star gear that we saw that you could crunch? We could salvage 6-star gear. They already showed us the cost for it. So where's 6-star gear in the game? We just don't know where that's going to be either. So I don't know. This is good. This will work out. And we're getting better gear drop here in the dungeon as opposed to us always doing things in the story mode. We focus on story mode a lot for farming because we can go after that one piece that we want. If I want Vigor Boots, I can go in there and get Vigor Boots. And I could farm it before at 4-star really easily. But it was never like it was a epic or a legendary piece of gear. It was always just like the best it could be is a rare. That's 2 additional substats. So then you would come into a dungeon to where you're getting randomly given to you gear, right? It could be different sets in here, but it could be epic and legendary. And they changed that too. Now it can be up to legendary status. So that's really good. Now we can get much better gear from the dungeon, and we'll have to see where 6-star gear is going to land with that. Here, they've just done a lot of changes to the story mode. They made story mode much easier. They made the percentage chance for you to get crowd controlled, abnormal status effect, stunned, blind, all that kind of stuff. They made it a much lower percentage, and they've dropped the damage of a lot of heroes in here. So it's going to be easier to go through and progress through story mode and fight those stages to get gear. Even though they made it easier, they also changed the gear that drops there. So in normal, we no longer get 4-star gear. It's like 1 to 3-star gear. I think there's a chart down here. We have to go into hard and to hell difficulty to get better gear drops. But they explain it all in here. It's actually a good thing for the game, I believe. We just have to play it from scratch again to find out what's it going to be like for the new player experience, because I really have no idea. With all these changes, with us not having an overpowered Anguish, I have no idea how the game is actually going to play out. And I'm excited. I'm excited to play it once global launch happens. Let me know your thoughts down below. There were a lot of changes. We knew they needed to change gold. They knew they needed to change gold, so they did. As far as the other hero relic advancement and other changes in the game, I think they're really good changes. The only complaint that people have are the amount of summoning tickets and the amount of gems that we get in this game. Again, I'm telling you, and believe that it's going to be all taken care of at global launch, along with rolling events, new content, new shops. Man, I want a tower in the game. I love tower content. I love just formulating teams to get through difficult tower content. There, a lot of times there's always either 2 difficulties or 3 difficulties, and you get lots of rewards every month for going through it. All these turn-based gacha games, every month when it resets, I'm excited. I love going through there. I love streaming it. I love showing guides on how to get through that. So I hope they have that soon. That's my biggest thing. There's a lot of other things in the game. There's still heroes that aren't doing what they say they do. There are issues with heroes not working properly still. And I just don't want to do videos complaining about all that stuff. So I'm just going to leave it to them. They don't pay me to play test the game. I'm not going to play test it and then continually come out with videos and tell them that these things aren't working. I'll just let it come out at global launch. It's their responsibility to take care of this stuff so that we don't lose players, right? When your bags are full in this game and you try to go salvage material, it won't let you salvage material. It tells you to buy more bag space because it considers each piece of being salvage material as a bag slot. If I take 1 piece of gear and it's giving me 6 pieces of salvage material, it says, oh, you don't have enough space. I'm doing 1 piece of gear. I've got like 5 spaces. What are you talking about? It won't let you salvage gear. It's things like that that will take players away from the game and not want to play the game because it's just not a polished game. And I hope they take care of that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to sit here and continually show them what's broken for the game, what would push players away at global launch for the game. Anyways, that's all I've got, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below about the game. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate your time. I will see you all in a video soon.